Chile and its lithium industry. What does it mean? Here, lithium, one of the largest lithium producing nations in the world is now Chile. Okay, and lithium is used in reusable batteries. Okay, even for electronic vehicles also. Very soon it is coming to be. But what is the issue here? Here, while using this lithium industry, that is lithium, exploring this lithium from underground, it has to use the brine. What is this? Not brine. That highly salt saturated water content. Okay, brine, B-R-I-N-E. Okay, salt water simply, but it is highly saturated with salt water. Okay, the salt concentration is higher than that of normal circumstances. Such brine is used from underground water, and through pipelines it will be extracted in this process, and it will during this it will be used by mixing it with sodium carbonate and producing this lithium carbonate ions as well. Okay, so while extracting these brine concentration to mix it with sodium carbonate to produce lithium, there is huge evaporation which is taken place. The water content which is present in this brine, that is highly saturated salt content, along with this water, which is extracted from underground and taken up when on the open land, the water evaporation is usually very high, and only the concentrated salt is visible. Okay, so the high concentrated brine, which is utilizing this water content and which is evaporated, is bringing scarcity of water in the Chile, in the Atacama Desert especially. Okay, where water scarcity is very huge. Okay, so this is the actually tussle happening between the local inhabitants and the lithium industry personnel. Lithium industry wants to extract lithium by using this brine concentration, which will cause evaporation of lot of water, which is huge scarcity in Atacama Desert in the Chile. Okay, so the President Gabriel Boric announced plans for the state to take a majority stake in the country's lithium industry. Okay, they want to nationalize this lithium industry. They would like to take up this project. However, what is the issue here? What is happening here? They are using brine evaporation method used in current production, which has been widely criticized by local indigenous groups, local inhabitant and environmentalists as well, because it is consuming vast amounts of water, which is already scarce, especially in the Atacama Desert. Therefore, lithium reserves this lithium industry is facing such a criticism, and Chile is one of the countries in the southwest America, and it is southernmost country in the world, which is adjacent to Antarctica. Next, capital is Santiago, Chile Santiago, and currency is CLP, that is Chilean peso. Okay, Chile dropped the second spot on the list of largest lithium producers in the world in 2017. So, and this lithium is also referred to as white gold. Please remember this one as well. This metal is rechargeable, used in rechargeable batteries, and very soon it is going to emerge as one of the prominent industries because of emergence of electric vehicles. So you are bringing electric vehicles as part of renewable energies, but it will also cause another kind of environmental pollution. So whatever may be the solution, it is also creating problems. So it is one problem that you need to understand. Electric vehicles is not a prominent solution for this for the renewable energy sector. Next, recent amendment. As you know that it is quite difficult for you to convince Chinese officials whether they take any Okay, recent amendments to China's anti-espionage law. What is this espionage? What is the actual tussle happening in China between who are involved in any kind of espionage act? Even transacting Chinese data to other nations will also be penalized under this anti-espionage law. For example, any foreign company established China and transacting data of Chinese personnel to other states, other nations, they will be arrested and imprisoned under this Espionage Act. They will also be inquired under this. So it is one of the biggest problems for China's companies, not only the indigenous companies but also the foreign nationals who have established companies in China. This is anti-espionage law, which has created such a tussle. Okay, it's very simple. So for that purpose only it has come into the newspaper. So what is the advantage for India? The advantage is very simple, that India will not announce such an anti-espionage law against those foreign territories, foreign nationals, but India can do whatever it wants to do. It can comfortably do. But China is a foolish country. It will announce it unnecessarily. You no need to announce when you want to do anti-espionage there, right? Our RA will take care of those people. They no need to stay in India as well. They can stay anywhere in the world. Okay, next, coming to this one. Recent amendments to China's anti-espionage law. China's National People Congress, the ceremonial Communist Party. Why did we mention this? Ceremonial Communist Party control legislature. So the here our president is ceremonial, our legislature is very effective. Here their president is not ceremonial, he is very effective. Okay, the real powers are in the hands of the president there, the premier Xi Jinping. And here the legislature is ceremonial in nature. Whatever the laws passed by the legislature is ceremonial only, under the aid and advice of the president. Okay, under the aid, I think, approved sweeping amendments to China's anti-espionage law. They approved whatever Xi Jinping says, it has to approve. It is ceremonial in nature. Okay, here Council of Ministers will direct the president to just give assent to the approval to the bill, because it is passed by the legislature or parliament. The ceremonial legislature will give approval to the anti-espionage law, which is actually directed by whom? Under the aid and advice of Premier Xi Jinping. Okay, no problem. So this is approved sweeping amendments to China's anti-espionage law, broadening the scope of what may be defined as activities related to spying and national security. What are the highlights in it? Here, it has given amendments to, it has made amendments to 2014 law. Here the article is talking about article within that law. Article means not this article. The article, one of the articles is talking about to prevent, stop and punish espionage conduct and maintain national security. Okay. And one more article is especially the foreign governments are especially concerned whether Chinese companies, particularly in the tech sector, would be mandated to offer their vast amounts of data to the authorities. Okay. Here I am a company, established my own entity here. I need to submit my data to the Chinese authorities. Is it possible from my side, by compromising the data protection which I promise to my customers? Is it possible? Because it is anything is possible in China, because if you don't do that, it is not possible. Okay. So okay, one of the articles of this law is mandating all state organs, armed forces, not only armed forces but also the political parties. Here at least that is fine. Armed force can comfortably interfere into this anti-espionage law and they can do some inquiry against you, that is fine. But even political parties and public groups and all enterprises and organizations, even all enterprises and organizations as well, not only political parties, okay, have the obligation to prevent and stop espionage activities. If suppose I am a traveler who is visiting a particular place, if I am doing screenshots for 1 hour in front of any authority, any building, then they will come, they will arrest you under Espionage Act, because they say that I am so and so organization from government of China, and they say that I am one of the political parties member. I am a member of political party. I can do Espionage Act against you. You are conducting espionage activity here. So like that, prevent and stop espionage activities and maintain national security. So, and it is also encouraging ordinary citizens to take part in national anti-espionage efforts. What does it mean? Any Chinese national will come to you, they will say you are a spy. You are doing espionage activity. I have to prove myself that I am not a spy, I am just a traveler. Okay. I have to show my YouTube channel, I am something Anvesh or somebody who is okay. I have even I went to Namibia, Uganda, somebody. So please look into my YouTube. Then he has to prove that he is just a traveler. Okay. So even that is situation. Even another article encouraging ordinary citizens to take part in national anti-espionage efforts by reporting to the authorities any activity deemed to be espionage. Okay. Later, the definition of espionage has also been expanded to include cyber attacks. Okay. Cyber attacks are okay, fine. They are considered to be espionage act only. Next, coming to India leads what they call laundromat. I can say because it is simply a money laundering, like you remember money laundering type, like laundromat. What is happening here? So Russian oil company Rosneft having stakes in Gujarat-based oil company. Okay, that oil which is processed, okay, is sold, and the gas which is processed is sold to European nations. So this is kind of a laundry because Russia is facing sanctions during this Ukraine crisis, right? Sanctions against these oil purchases and sales. So India is considered to be, along with India, 4 more other countries are declared to be these laundromat countries. Okay, India leads India was the leading country among those 5 countries, 4. Okay, apart from those 4 countries, India was the topmost country. This is considered to be laundromat countries that buy Russian oil and sell processed products to European countries, thus sidestepping European sanctions. Sir, thus it is sidestepping European sanctions. So what is meant by sidestepping? Instead of facing European sanctions for purchasing or selling oil, have to sell oil to the European nations. What does Russia do here? Russia is having 49.3 stakes in one of the Gujarat-based oil companies, and it is selling its oil to European nations through India. This is called laundromat. India is the leading country. That is what the term mentioned by those European nations only. The sidestepping European sanctions against Russia, says a Helsinki-based group that cited that is citing figures for the first quarter of 2023, and 2 more other reports also mention the same. Helsinki-based group. 2 more other countries. What were those countries? Coincide with latest data from analytics from Kepler, and also a report by international agency Bloomberg. Kepler and Bloomberg, 2 other agencies, which these reports were actually coming from whom? European Union countries only. And very soon, now we are directly asking that what are the sanctions? Very soon that our total number of oil purchases or gas from the European nations is more than that of India. That was the statement given by whom? Our foreign affairs minister. Very soon, after 10 years, it seems, after 5 years or 10 years, we will also sanction against these people. Okay. US should not purchase oil from Saudi Arabia, and European nations should not purchase oil from Saudi Arabia. Why should not we do that? Those people, what authority that they have? Because it is under humanitarian crisis, they say. Under humanitarian crisis only you are selling all those weapons to Pakistan and Afghanistan, right? And Osama bin Laden is staying comfortably in that place for last 10 years, and later he was died by US person only. So very soon we will sanction them. It is possible only by India. It is not from China even. Even Chinese actually project themselves are very warriors, but they are actually most timid people. So are in fact increasing their intake of oil from India. Those laundromat countries are 5. India, China, Turkey, UAE and Singapore. These 5 countries are sidestepping European sanctions who are purchasing oil from Russia. Okay. So the report accused Indian sellers and European buyers of possibly, they are also accusing their own people for purchasing oil. Because what should they do? Should they walk instead of using petrol and coal something? They should not do that. So circumventing sanctions by selling crude products from a refinery in Gujarat that is co-owned by whom? Russian oil company Rosneft. So they are calling it as laundromat. Actually, this laundromat is a kind of machine which is used for washing. Washing machine was named as laundromat initially. Okay, later this term is used for what? People who are involved in laundering activity. Okay. So countries, India, which April remained highest global consumer of seaborne Russian crude for 5th month, and it is the ahead of exporting these crude products to the coalition countries. Okay. Nearly 3.8 million tons of oil products to price cap coalition countries, which include even European Union. Coalition countries means G7, EU and Japan. Okay. This is research for energy. It is named as Council for Research in Energy Sector. Okay. This is India based one only. CREA also reported that most oil products were being exported from 2 ports. One is, 2 are based on Gujarat only. One is owned by Reliance owned Jamnagar refinery, that is Sikka port. Sikka port, Reliance owned Jamnagar one refinery, and the second one is Vadinar port. In this port, the stakes 49% stakes are owned by whom? Russian oil refinery company, that is Rosneft. Okay, there are 2 ports which are selling this refined oil to whom? European countries, European nationals. These 2 ports are, one is Sikka port owned by Reliance company, and the second one is Vadinar port owned by Indian agency, one of the Nayara Energies, and also partly owned by Russian company Rosneft. Okay. Pakistan inflation hits recorded 36.4%, which is highest in South Asian region, and this has hit much more than that after April as well, and you will be seeing these articles later. So that inflation, even it is going to touch 50% as well very soon. What is this inflation? Okay. Key highlights here: Pakistan's rural areas recorded food inflation of around 40%. Previous month compared to April. In April it has reached 45%. Even later it has reached much more than this. Even it has it wanted to mobilize its loans from International Monetary Fund as well, but IMF rejected its expected loan. What is that loan? Pakistan has been in economic turmoil for month with acute balance of payment crisis, and it is also expecting at least 6.5 billion bailout package from whom? International Monetary Fund, but it hasn't got what it expected. It was able to secure only $1.1 billion. That was the situation about for Pakistan. So because IMF is not trusting that Pakistan will pay back its money, bailout package. Bailout means somebody is struggling, unable to pay back, and still they will get some kind of upliftment through this bailout package. And they expect that it is not possible from them to pay back immediately. It is not possible even after 10 to 20 years also. And still, that is called bailout package. Okay. So the country has taken measures to try to secure the funding, including removing caps on exchange rate. Okay, fine. Whatever may be the measure, it is not possible from the side of military regime. That is Pakistan, which is ruled by military only. So International Monetary Fund, it is a major financial agency of whom? United Nations. Okay. And it is an international financial institution headquartering in Washington DC, consisting of 190 countries. And its voting is proportionate to the stakes that it has. Okay, 18% is the stakes that is held by 18% stakes are held by whom? USA. Therefore, its voting is proportionate to 18%, 17 to 18% in between. These are Bretton Woods. Do you know? After Bretton Woods conference in 1944, there are two organizations, international financial organizations emerged. One is World Bank and the second one is World Bank is International Development Agency, and IBA, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, to reconstruct the damage that happened after 2 world wars. Right? And World Bank group contains 5 agencies. World Bank contains 2 agencies. Okay, that is fine. Please go through those organizations as well. Next, current affairs. NATO to open its first Asia office in Japan to enable Indo-Pacific consultation. What is this NATO? This North Atlantic Treaty Organization, Atlantic. What does it do? It is a military alliance which was formed during the time of Cold War. After Second World War, the Cold War emerged. The Cold War is an ideological war between Russia and USA, as you have known. During the time, a military alliance was emerged. To counter this, also, there was also one of the activities that was taken by Russia. That was Warsaw Pact, but now it is not relevant. It has gone after 1991. Okay, anyways, this NATO was formed in 1949 after Second World War. It is an intergovernmental military alliance between 31 member states and 29 from European countries and 2 from North American continent, that is Canada and USA. Yes, recent. That is what it is mentioned here also. NATO's main one. So, next one is Finland joined the alliance on 4th April 2023. Recently, Finland also. Yes, recently. Yes, okay. Yes. Next, NATO's main headquarters are located in Brussels, which is capital city of Belgium. And next, NATO military headquarters are near Mons, Belgium. Military headquarters. So, it wants to establish its one of the offices in which country? Japan. Still under negotiation. Okay. Japan has certain trust issues. It has to look into it. Next, World Freedom Day and Windhoek Declaration. Windhoek is a capital city of whom? That is Namibia. Okay. After Namibia got freedom, a seminar was held. In which country? Namibia. So in 1991, you felt astonished that Namibia got freedom in 1991. Yes, these were the countries which got freedom in recent years only. Okay. So in Namibia, capital city is Windhoek. Shortly after the country gained independence. And seminar was focusing on promoting an independent pluralistic African press. So because Africa suffered from such lack of freedom, okay, and was held in partnership with UN agencies. Anything issue? Is my voice audible? Fine. Okay, right. So that is why the capital city of Namibia, which held a meeting among these US representatives, okay, who declared World Press Freedom Day. That is also named to be Windhoek Declaration. Windhoek is a capital city which conducted this seminar. This seminar was conducted by UN member states. After conduction of this seminar, they came forward and they declared themselves as it has to provide freedom to the press personnel. So this is named as World Freedom Day. Simple, Press Freedom Day. This is as Windhoek Declaration. It was attended by 63 participants from 39 countries, and Windhoek Declaration was adopted on May 3. So, and the last day of the seminar, it consisted of 19 principles: independent, pluralistic, and free press. In 1993, May 3 was proclaimed as World Press Freedom Day. Okay. After 19 countries which participated, they mentioned 19 principles. It was named as Windhoek Declaration. After 2 years, they considered this day as World Press Freedom Day. So, this declaration was built upon Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Universal Declaration of Human Rights was actually related to whom? Freedom of opinion and expression, mentioned by UNO only. Okay. So, what is the theme of this year? Shaping a future of rights. Shaping a future of rights. Freedom of expression as a driver for all other human rights. Shaping a future of rights. Freedom of expression as a driver for all other human rights. Freedom of expression is a driving force for all other human rights. This is the theme of this year's event. Next, Australian government to crack down on the use of e-cigarettes. Already we have discussed that our Ministry of Health and Family declared that e-cigarettes have to be banned. Okay, under which act? 2019. Okay, Prohibition of E-Cigarettes Act 2019. And they mention, and not only from the regulations issued by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and it was implemented by various other state governments as well. Example, Tamil Nadu state government also issued a notification against this e-cigarette. And what is the definition that we have mentioned regarding e-cigarette? Any substance, heat not burn product, even heated substance, either contain nicotine or not, it will be considered as e-cigarette in the form of e-hookah, even electron, which is releasing aerosols. Okay. So coming to this one, Australian government also cracked down this use of e-cigarette. Okay. So reduce smoking and stamp out vaping. Vaping means inhalation, some kind of inhalation and aerosol inhalation, exhalation. So in one of the most sweeping tobacco regulatory moves in the country in years. Okay. Not only. So electronic cigarette, it may have electronic device in the Indian context, it may not have even in the Indian context device that simulates tobacco smoking. It consists of an atomizer, a power source such as battery, and a container such as a cartridge or a tank. Instead of smoke, the user usually inhales vapor, and thus naming it as vaping. Okay. And in India, 2019, as I said, as per our act, we have banned these e-cigarettes. India is one of the only countries that has completely banned e-cigarettes. And now Australia is in queue. Next, UNESCO urges greater protection for artists facing adversity. So what is happening here? Here, our artists are very safe because we embrace so much our artists. But what is the situation across the world? Here you please go through this report. The report is noting down that here in 2021, a record of 39 artists were reportedly killed in 12 countries and 119 were imprisoned in 24 countries. UNESCO said, citing data from FreeMuse. So, I think if RGV born in those countries, he would have been died by this time. It is possible because UNESCO said, citing data from FreeMuse. One more simplest thing is, one of the artists was killed by drawing something without hijab. Okay. For a woman without hijab, the artist drew something, then he was killed. Okay, that is the simple reason. Okay. If you give cartoonic expression of Kim Jong-un, what will happen? You will disappear totally. Okay. This is what the situation. So that is why UNESCO, United Nations, what is called Education, Social, Cultural Organization, is urging greater protection for whom? Artists facing such an adversity. UNESCO has called for increased protection for artists affected by armed conflict, political instability, and natural calamities in a report named Report Defending Creative Voices. Defending Creative Voices is a report released by whom? UNESCO. UNESCO releases Defending Creative Voices. Okay. The report noting that this is the situation, that even an independent international non-governmental organization also advocating that freedom of artist expression and cultural diversity. FreeMuse. FreeMuse is an independent NGO which is working for those artists. Defending Creative Voices. Next, it highlights that individuals working in the arts are vulnerable to several threats. Okay. Including harassment, income loss, legal prosecution, violence, censorship, stealing, something else. Okay. Next, UNESCO is one of the bodies of whom? United Nations organization. The UNESCO Convention on the Protection and Promotion of Diversity of Cultural Expression is a binding international legal instrument. What is this convention? On protection and promotion of diversity of cultural expression. Protection and promotion. of cultural diversity simply. This cultural diversity, expressing this cultural diversity is a binding international. What is meant by binding? Once you are a party, you are obliged to follow that. Okay, it is a binding international legal instrument adopted by the UNESCO General Conference in 2005 during 33rd session of UNESCO General Conference held in France, Paris. So, it is responsible for Convention on the Diversity. UNESCO is responsible for this convention. This is Convention on Protection and Promotion of Diversity of Cultural Expression. Okay. Next, 152 countries already ratified it. 152 countries. UNESCO has allocated $1 million to finance projects promoting artistic freedom in over 25 countries. Next, Arab governments vote for Syria's return to the Arab League. Arab governments voting for Syria to be returned, Syria to come back. What is this Syria to come back? When Syria killed just how many people? Just 1 crore it seems. Okay, that is a pathetic situation in Mediterranean region. Okay, in 12 years ago, Syria was banned from Arab League. Okay, because Syria, what did it do? In Syria, which has killed nearly 500,000 people. Okay, and displaced around 23 million people. Okay, very simply. And Syria, Islamic State of Syria, do you remember? Crisis which is happening. Its own people it has. Okay, all 13 of the 22 member states that attended this Arab League banned Syria because of its excessive level of inhuman activity. Okay, that has taken place. In 2011 they banned, and later they are inviting Syria to become member of this Arab League. That is a story with respect to Syria only, just simple. So we are lucky that we haven't born in those countries. Next, the decision for Syria to return also to include a commitment to ongoing dialogue. What is this ongoing dialogue? Whether to incorporate Syria as part of our Arab League or not. Okay, this United Nations Security Council resolution, according to the lines of UN Security Council resolution. Okay, 2254 that is. Next, Arab League in the decision also set up a communication committee. Whether to incorporate Syria or not. Communication among other Arab League countries. Okay, to bring consensus, because most of the decisions in the Arab League are taken based on consensus. However, if it is not possible, they will go for majority decision. Okay, this is the Arab League. Okay, decision for Syria to return also include a commitment ongoing dialogue. They have mentioned it seems. I will say. So it is Arab League is a regional organization in the Arab world. Okay, it was formed in 1945, March 22nd, 1945. Initially, it contained 6 members. Egypt, Iraq, Transjordan, it is Jordan. It is not open out to Mediterranean Sea. 2015 Prelims MCQ. Jordan is not open out to Mediterranean Sea. Lebanon is open out to Mediterranean Sea. Syria is open out to Mediterranean Sea. Turkey is fine. Okay. Next, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, Syria. Saudi Arabia, Syria, Lebanon, Transjordan, Iraq, Egypt. These 6 were founding members of this Arab League. Now this league contains how many countries? 22 members, 22 countries. Syria's participation was suspended from 16th November 2011 and later it was reinstated in 2023, May 7. Okay, Japan. South Korea restructured ties in landmark meet. What is this South Korea restructure landmark meet? South Korea and Japan had certain bad history. Between them, they had bad history. Not only South Korea, but also with respect between China and Japan. Okay. But still, South Korea is negotiating with whom? Japan for a landmark meet. What is this mean? So, Japan and South Korea agreed to take forward ties and move past lingering historical disputes, pledging to transform a relationship that could have broad implication for the region. In past, they had very bad relationship, especially when occupying during World War times. Okay, Second World War time. Okay, key highlights is here. Japanese Prime Minister Kishido became the first Japanese leader to visit Seoul in 12 years. After 12 years, Japanese Prime Minister visited this, South Korea. And the visit followed by a trip to Japan in March by South Korean President. So what has been dubbed here? Shuttle diplomacy. What is meant by shuttle diplomacy? Shuttle diplomacy means it is promising to transform its ties between two US allies that have been bogged down over historical issues. Two US allies. What are those two US allies ties between? South Korea. Okay. Japan wants to have friendly relationship with US and South Korea because the two were enemies during Second World War. So, ties between these two US allies that have been bogged down over historical issues, chiefly Japan's reluctance to apologize for atrocities committed during its occupation. Japan has committed various atrocities in Southeast Asian nations and South Korea as well. It has killed many people. It has raped many women also. For many years, they kept many women in those regions which they occupied. So both have, however, been brought together, shared concerns not only over North Korea's nuclear program, but also Chinese regional influx that is happening already. So simple, the US allies are here now, South Korea and Japan. Initially they had such a tussle. Now they are coming together to fight against whom? The North Korea's nuclear program and Chinese aggression which is emanated from that region. Therefore, US is lobbying between Japan and South Korea. This is despite differences over Japan's wartime actions, it is requesting South Korea to visit Japan and have friendly ties. Both sides in March agreed to come up with a fund to compensate South Koreans who suffered under Japanese forced labor programs during that time. So this is a compensatory activity which has been taken place. The beauty of Asian countries is they are coming forward to ally with European nations, but European nations are not even compensating for the atrocities that have taken place in the colonial countries. Okay, till now England hasn't said any sorry to 53 nations in which they have occupied and they have completely ruined their economy, right? Title 42. So, next, under the March agreement, the compensation will be paid by joint fund. Okay, that is not required now. That is fine. Next, Title 42 is ending at the US-Mexico border. What is mean by Title 42? Our Trump government in 2020, okay, has announced this Title 42, which is a kind of a Mexico wall. It is not a wall fully built. It is not fully built. But Mexicans were not entertained in the USA during the time of COVID-19 pandemic. Okay. They have mentioned it as this restriction was named as Title 42. Title 42 was a restriction put for Mexicans which are not entertained to enter into USA. That was the situation, Title 42. So, the present government, that is Democratic government, Democrats they are named as, they are lifting these sanctions against these Mexicans. Restore asylum now. I mean, it is possible with the Democrats that even asylum seekers can also demand the Democrats. Asylum seekers who don't have any citizenship, who doesn't pay any tax, a person who doesn't pay any tax, okay, who doesn't have any citizenship, can also demand the government that I need asylum, you should provide me shelter and food, everything. That is the problem with the Democrats in US as well. So, Trump government has announced this Title 42. So, US is getting ready to lift COVID-19 restrictions that have blocked migrants caught at US-Mexico border from seeking asylum since 2020. What is this asylum? Why Trump government wanted to build that Mexico wall against Mexicans who are entering illegally into US territory? Because lot of drug abuse is happening from that region and drug trafficking has been taking place for many decades, and also the burden that US has been facing and the crime rate that is happening in the US. Therefore, US government has witnessed this. The Republican government has announced this kind of protectionist measure. Protectionist measure means there will be sanctions against those people who are illegally coming here and who are sabotaging the resources from this country. So next, COVID-19 restriction known as Title 42 were first implemented under Republican government in 2020 March during the pandemics. And US Center for Disease Control and Prevention said that order was needed to stem the spread of coronavirus in the crowded detention settings. Next, this President Joe Biden has lifted this Title 42. Next, Chinese militia boats across Indian and Indian Asian warships exercising in South China Sea. This is named as 2-day sea phase of Asian India Maritime Exercise. Asian India Maritime Exercise for 2 days. 2-day phase of Asian India Maritime Exercise that took place in 2023 in South China Sea. Okay, in 200 nautical miles of exclusive economic zones of which country? Vietnam. Okay, up to 200 nautical miles you will have exclusive economic zone. Okay, this exclusive economic zone belong to which country? Vietnam. In that EEZ zone, India along with other South Asian nations that are Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines and Indonesia, Brunei, along with other South Asian nations conducted this military exercise, maritime military exercise. However, during the time, Chinese ships deliberately came to the South China Sea area. Okay, they deliberately, their naval ships came in between this exercise in the midst of. Okay, Chinese, however, that militia boats, however, naval vessels crossed each other without any face-off. They did not face off, just they crossed each other. Okay, Indian authorities were tracking the movements of at least 5 militia boats. So, Chinese research vessel was also following these boats towards the same area. Okay, why did I reiterate? Because what is required for this preliminary examination? The requirement is only Asian India Maritime Exercise. Where it was held? It was in the exclusive economic zone of Vietnam. What are the countries participating here? What were the countries participated along with India? Vietnam, Brunei, Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand. Isn't it? These were the countries which participated in. Okay, this is the only thing that you require for your preliminary examination. And remaining aspects will be required for your mains examination if you are preparing for UPSC. This is first Asian Indian Maritime Exercise is co-hosted by the Indian and Singapore navies. This is also fine. Co-hosted by whom? Singapore navies as well. Next, persona non grata in news. Persona non grata. What is meant by I don't want you. Please go out of my country. I will never invite you. That is simple meaning. Okay. So Canada is one of the foolish countries now. Okay, it wants tussle with every country, even against India and against China. And one of the Canadian politicians made unnecessary allegations against China. Okay, intimidate. What is that allegation? Therefore, China mentioned that you are a persona non grata. What is meant by I will never entertain you to come to my territory. This is what persona. So after a day after Canada announced it would expel a Chinese diplomat. What did it say? Canada kelkundi evani China ne after I will expel you. Okay, Canada feels itself as supreme power, it seems, I don't know. So one of the bluffing countries. So it would expel a Chinese diplomat over allegations of involvement in a campaign to intimidate a Canadian politician. China army. Okay. ఏదో కెనడాలో అంటే ఒక పొలిటీషియన్ ని ఇంటిమిడేట్ చేసి వాడిని ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ చేసి ఏం చేస్తున్నావు, నీకు పార్టీ ఏదో పవర్ లోకి తీసుకురావడానికి ఏదో ప్రయత్నం చేసినామంట. అందు గురించి నీ డిప్లొమాట్ ని నేను ఇక్కడ నుంచి పంపించేస్తా. ఊరికి అట్లా డిప్లొమాట్ వెనక్కి పంపిస్తా, ముందుకు పంపిస్తా, తెచ్చుకుంటా, పక్కన పెట్టుకుంటా ఇట్లా అనకూడదు. అన్నారంటే ఆ కంట్రీ ఊరికే చూస్తూ ఊరుకు. దెన్ ఇమీడియట్లీ వాట్ డిడ్ చైనా డూ అండ్ May 9 ఈవెన్ మనకి చైనాకి ఇంత లొల్లైంది. మనం ఎప్పుడైనా నీ డిప్లొమాట్ వెనక్కి పంపిస్తా అన్నాడు ప్రైమ్ మినిస్టర్. ఎప్పుడు అన్నాడు? సో చేసే పని అది కామ్గా చేసుకొని పోతాడు. ఓకే, నేను యాంటీ ఎస్పినేజ్ లా పెడతా అంటాడా? పెట్టడు. కానీ అక్కడ మన టెర్రరిస్ట్ చచ్చిపోతుంటారు. ఆటోమేటిక్ జరగాలి అది. సో ఇప్పుడు ఇంటిమిడేట్ కెనడియన్ పొలిటీషియన్ చైనా ఆన్ May 9 డిక్లేర్డ్ ఏ కెనడియన్ డిప్లొమాట్ ఇన్ షాంఘై యాజ్ పర్సోనా నాన్ గ్రేటా. ఏం చేసింది చైనా? వేరే పర్సోనా నాన్ గ్రేటా అని తిట్టింది. పర్సోనా నాన్ గ్రేటా అంటే ఏంటి? లాటిన్ ఫ్రేజ్ లో అన్వెల్కమ్ పర్సన్. అన్వెల్కమ్ పర్సన్ అంటే ఏంటి? అన్వెల్కమ్ పర్సన్ అంటే నువ్వు వస్తే నేను స్వాగతించడానికి కాదు. ఓకే, వస్తేవో కాళ్ళు ఎరగొడతాను అర్థం, అంటే అంత కోపం వచ్చి చెప్పినట్టు అర్థం అనమాట. అన్వెల్కమ్ పర్సన్, యు ఆర్ నాట్ ఎలిజిబుల్ టు కమ్ హియర్ అన్నట్టు డిప్లొమాట్. ఇన్ డిప్లొమసీ ఇట్ రిఫర్స్ టు ఎ డిప్లొమాట్ ఆర్ ఫారెన్ పర్సన్ హూస్ ఎంటరింగ్ ఆర్ రిమైనింగ్ ఇన్ ఎ సర్టెన్ కంట్రీ హ్యాస్ బీన్ ప్రొహిబిటెడ్ బై దట్ కంట్రీ. ప్రొహిబిటెడ్ అంటే నువ్వు ఇక్కడ ఎంటర్ అవ్వడాన్ని నేను నిషేధిస్తున్నా, నువ్వు రాకూడదు ఇక్కడికి అని. సో డిజిగ్నేషన్ రిసీవ్డ్ డిప్లొమాటిక్ మీనింగ్ ఎట్ 1961 వియన్నా. డిజిగ్నేషన్ రిసీవ్డ్ డిప్లొమాటిక్ మీనింగ్ 1961 వియన్నా కన్వెన్షన్ ఫర్ డిప్లొమాటిక్ రిలేషన్. ఏదైనా వియన్నా కన్వెన్షన్ అనేది ఒకటి ఉంటుంది అనమాట, డిప్లొమాట్స్ ని ఎలా డీల్ చేయాలని. డిప్లొమాటిక్ కన్వెన్షన్ ప్రకారం ఒకరిని ఎవరినైనా నువ్వు ఇఫ్ యూ సే సంబడీ హ్యాస్ పర్సనా నాన్ గ్రేటా, హీ ఈస్ ప్రొహిబిటెడ్ టు ఎంటర్ ఇంటూ అవర్ టెరిటరీ అండర్ విచ్ కన్వెన్షన్? వియన్నా కన్వెన్షన్. ఓకే, టు డీల్ విత్ హూమ్? ద డిప్లొమాటిక్ రిలేషన్స్. So Article 9 of this treaty mentions that a country can declare any member of a diplomatic staff as persona non grata at any time and without having to explain its decision. In any time you can declare a person as persona non grata without even providing any explanation. That is an extreme decision. ఇప్పుడు నువ్వు ఒకరిని రవద్దు అన్నావంటే ఒక రీజన్ ఇవ్వాలి కదా, అది కూడా నేను ఇవ్వాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు అని నువ్వు చెప్పావంటే దట్ ఈస్ సెకండ్ లెవెల్ అనమాట. ఫస్ట్ పర్సనా నాన్ గ్రేటా అనేది హైయెస్ట్ లెవెల్. ఇంకా దానికి కింద చిన్న చిన్న ఉంటాయి స్టెప్స్. ఫస్ట్ కొన్ని రోజులు డిప్లొమాట్ ఎంబసీని తీసుకుని కొన్ని రోజులు అక్కడ పెట్టిన ఇక్కడ పెట్టిన ఇవో ఉంటాయి. కానీ ఇట్లనే కూడా కాదు, డైరెక్ట్ గా పర్సనా నాన్ గ్రేటా అంటే వితౌట్ ఈవెన్ ఎనీ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ ఐఎమ్ డైరెక్ట్లీ నాట్ అలౌవింగ్ యూ అండ్ ఐ విల్ డైరెక్ట్లీ ఇంపోజింగ్ శాంక్షన్స్ టు ఎంటర్ ఇన్ టు మై టెరిటరీ లైక్ దట్. Diploma staff persona non grata at any time without having to explain its decision. Why I have taken this decision? It is also not required to give you any explanation. If I give you explanation, I am giving you respect. If I don't give explanation that I am directly telling you don't come here, what does it mean? Even I don't have a basic minimum courtesy and respect towards you. Okay? With ఒకరిని వచ్చి నువ్వు చెంప మీద కొట్టినావు, ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ కూడా చేయను పో అన్నావు అంటే ఏంటి? And therefore I don't even bother about your response. I don't. That is what persona non grata. So it is. Soon after the declaration, that person concerned usually returns to their home nation. Okay. So article also saying that if in case they fail to do so within a reasonable period, the country may refuse to recognize the person concerned as a member of that mission. Okay. అలా చేసి నేనేం చేయొచ్చు అని ఏదో యాంటీ ఎస్పీనేజ్ లా వేసి జైల్లో పెట్టేస్తా, ఏది పడితే చేస్తా. వాడు డెఫినెట్లీ వాళ్ళు టికెట్ బుక్ చేయకపోయినా వీడు పర్సనల్ డబ్బులు పెట్టుకుని టికెట్ బుక్ చేసుకుని పారిపోతాడు. సో న్యాచురల్ గా అదే. సో ఇప్పుడు ద ఆర్టికల్ ఆల్సో సేస్ దట్ ఏ పర్సన్ కెన్ బి డిక్లేర్డ్ పర్సనా నాన్ గ్రేటా ఈవెన్ బిఫోర్ అరైవింగ్ ఇన్ ఏ కంట్రీ. ఈవెన్ బిఫోర్ అరైవింగ్ ఇన్ ఏ కంట్రీ ఆల్సో, నాట్ ఓన్లీ ఫర్ సెండింగ్ దెమ్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ కంట్రీ బట్ ఆల్సో ఈవెన్ బిఫోర్ అరైవింగ్ వన్ పర్సన్ ఫ్రమ్ దట్ కంట్రీ ఐ విల్ సే పర్సనా నాన్ గ్రేటా. ఓకే. సో రూల్స్ ఆఫ్ యూస్, దీనికి ఏమైనా రూల్స్ ఉన్నాయంటే నో, దేర్ ఆర్ నాట్ ఎనీ ఫిక్స్డ్ రూల్స్ రిగార్డింగ్ వెన్ ఏ కంట్రీ డిక్లేరింగ్ దట్ వన్. ఇట్ డజంట్ నీడ్ గివ్ అన్ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ అకార్డింగ్ టు ఆర్టికల్ 9 of this Vienna Convention. Notably, this imposition of the persona non grata designation is not just limited to diplomats. What does it mean? Any person who is coming from Canada is persona non grata. Not only applicable to diplomats, but also any person who is coming from Canada is considered to be persona non grata to China. ఇంకా మనం ఇంకా మంచోళ్ళు ఇంకా ఓకే, ఓన్లీ వెళ్ళి మనోళ్ళు అదే టెర్రరిస్ట్ తనంతట చనిపోయాడు మనకు తెలీదు. ఓకే, అంటే అంతవరకే చూసాం. ఓకే, ఇంకా మామూలు కెనడా నేషనల్స్ జోలికి వెళ్దాం మనం. ఓకే, చైనా పిచ్చిది కాబట్టి కెనడా నేషనల్స్ జోలికి కూడా వెళ్ళింది. అలాంటి పిచ్చి కంట్రీతో ఈ పిచ్చోడు పెట్టుకున్నాడు ఎవరు? కెనడా. సో దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ సిచ్యువేషన్ with respect to Canada's failure of Canada's diplomacy, and it is a comparative analysis, that is how successful India's diplomacy is. Okay, so ఎక్కడెక్కడ ఉన్న కెనడాలో టెర్రరిస్టులు చనిపోతారు, మనకే ప్రాబ్లం ఉండదు అంటే అర్థం ఏంటి? And still we don't get any kind of problem from any country, and we get support also, and Canada is blamed across various parts. What does it mean? It is success of India's diplomacy. Okay. Next, Moscow hosts landmark Turkey, Syria, Iran foreign ministers talks. ఇప్పుడు 6:30 అయింది. How many articles that we have finished? 20? 19? 20. Approximately 20. Shall we do rapid revision? Okay. I have an important function here. I need to go out. Okay. Tomorrow I will continue the session. I'll take 2 hours session. I'll complete 40 to 50 articles. Okay, I'll do rapid revision. I'll go out. So Operation Karna in Myanmar. Okay, along with these operations, you need to remember 2 or 3. Okay, in which area? Cox's Bazar. Okay, in Bangladesh, which is a place for refugees from Myanmar for Rohingyas. Okay, next, debt ceiling crisis in Myanmar and debt ceiling crisis in US for the first time. US is unable to pay back its debts. It is called debt fault. And debt ceiling, it has reached its zenith and threshold of taking debts. It cannot take more than that. Okay, a tussle is happening in Congress of USA. Okay, between Republicans and Democrats. Next, World Health Organization downgrades COVID pandemic, and it is no more a health emergency across the globe. However, there are still deaths happening, and Africa is witnessing more number of deaths. 3% of global deaths happen in Africa. Okay, next, World Health Organization. Next, who is the coordinating agency here across the world among various countries and organizations? World Health Organization. Okay, next, Uzbekistan holding a referendum on new constitution, and Uzbekistan still it is referendum for what? To bring basic freedom. Okay, to even and capital punishment against Oddu Tisevane Ivanne. So it is referendum. Its capital is Tashkent and one of the Central Asian countries among 5. Next, Chile and its lithium industry. Yes, the brain extraction which is happening in Chile for lithium industry for manufacturing. So it is also one of the issues. Okay, in Atacama Desert in the Chile, and Chile is having its connection with even Antarctica. Okay, largest southern tip is it located at Chile only. Okay. Next, recent amendments to China's anti-espionage law. Anti-espionage law. Even a political party, individual, and Chinese nationals can also make one person as espionage, doing some espionage activity here. Okay. So what is happening here? Foreign companies which are established in this territory are suffering from this Espionage Act because they need to submit the data to the authorities whenever they ask. Okay. And next, it is a 2014 Act which is amended again. Next, recent amendments to China's. Okay, that is fine. Next, India leads. Okay, what is this? Laundromat countries. What are those laundromat countries? 5 countries. Okay, 5 countries. Next, what is mean by laundromat? Okay, sidestepping the sanctions imposed by European Union to sell oil, refined oil. Okay, next, Rosneft is having stakes in Gujarat. Okay, next, Pakistan inflation hits record 36%, highest in South Asian region, and Pakistan begged $6.5 billion something bailout package, but it got only 1 million. What does it mean? It is unable to pay back its loan from whom? International Monetary Fund. International Monetary Fund is one of the financing agencies of whom? United Nations Organization, which was formed under Bretton Woods Conference after Second World War. Isn't it? Okay, that is the organization. Next, NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which was formed in 1949. Okay, it wants to establish its office in Japan. It contains how many countries? 31, 29 plus 32. Okay, Finland and recently Sweden, as you said. And next, 29 plus 2, 29 from Europe, 2 from Canada and US. Okay, next, World Freedom Day, Windhoek Declaration. Windhoek is a capital city of Namibia. After it got freedom, a seminar was conducted by UN representatives, and that capital city was named as Windhoek, and they declared something, 19 principles to provide freedom to press free people. Okay, that is declared as World Press Freedom Day. And which day? World Press Freedom Day. Okay. Next, Australian government to crack down on e-cigarette. It is following India's guidelines. Okay. And India has already banned e-cigarette. Okay. Already we have discussed about it. Next, UNESCO urges greater protection for artists who are facing such adversity. Okay, UNESCO, United Nations Education Social Cultural Organization, one of the agencies of the United Nations. Okay, it has provided a report Report means, what is that report? For artists, defending creative voices. Defending creative voices is the report released by UNESCO. Okay. Arab governments vote for Syria's return to the Arab League. Okay. Why Syria was banned to enter into Arab League in 2011. After that, in 2023, its position was reinstated by taking consensus from various Arab League countries. Arab League was one of the regional organizations established in which year? 1945. By what are the countries? 6 countries. Egypt, next Transjordan, Iraq. Okay. Iran was not part of Arab League during its formation. Okay. Syria. Okay. 6 countries. Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, Transjordan. Okay. Already I have told other 2 names. What is? Okay. Next. Arab governments vote for Syria's return to the Arab League. Regional organization. Bilateral, multilateral organization, unity removed. Japan, South Korea restructured ties in landmark meet. So, Japan, South Korea were enemies during World War II, and US has come forward to establish a relationship. These allies, Japan and US, Japan and South Korea. For the purpose of what? For the purpose of? Yeah, not coincidence. Because of to counter Chinese aggression in the region, Asia, and next, North Korea's nuclear program. Okay, for that purpose they came forward. Next, Title 42 is ending, and also they have announced a joint fund. Okay, for its labor exploitation was happened to restore them and rehabilitate them. Japan has announced the joint fund on. Okay, next, Title 42. US-Mexico border, Title 42 was announced to restrict the people to enter into the US border from Mexico. Okay, Mexican. Next, this was lifted now. Chinese military boats across Indian Asian warships exercising in China, South China Sea. South China Sea, and that what is that program? AME. Okay, and so Asian maritime exercise. Okay. What is that maritime exercise? What are the countries in participating here? Brunei, Philippines, Taiwan. Okay, Thailand, not Taiwan. Thailand. Next, okay, what has happened at the time? Just Chinese ships came in front of those military exercising ships, and but there was no face-off taken place. Okay. Next, persona non grata. What is this persona non grata? Persona non grata means? Okay. A person who should never enter into a territory, irrespective of whether he is diplomat or not. Okay. Recently, China has announced this persona non grata to Canada because of alleged comments against this China. Okay. They have unnecessarily interfered into this. Okay. Right. I'll meet you tomorrow. All the best.